Hello, welcome back to Average Gamer Plays Factorio. Right, I've been wandering around the base trying to find areas where improvements can still be made, and one area where I can make improvements. I'm not making as much plastic. I see the occasional message about no plastic trains available. Now all these lines are running, all these plastic factories are producing some plastic, they're just not producing as much as they could. And the problem is not, this time round, not to do with the oil. I might still put proper stackers on here, on these train stations, but the problem that this factory is now experiencing is that although there is coal coming in, and it is coming in quite regularly, you can see, if I get out so you can have, I don't know if you can actually sort of follow what's going on the belts, but there are a lot of gaps, and the I mean the gaps are mainly due to the fact that there are we've basically got 8 wagons, 8 lines coming off the train, and then there are 12 lines going to these 12 factories. So it's effectively like an 8 to 12 splitter. So these lines down here were never ever going to be completely full anyway, but they do sometimes get quite empty. Now at the moment we're short of 32,000 in there. Now I've been watching this for quite a while, and sometimes the trains come in quite rapidly, and sometimes there's a little bit of a delay, during which time these chests of coal can actually sort of empty out, and I've actually seen the belts sort of get you know, half empty. Now I've tweaked some of the supply settings. I've changed the train limit on this station down here to 5 trains, and I've changed, I think, the request threshold to just be 10,000 instead of 16,000, which is what a train can hold. So it's going to request a train a little bit more frequently, and I think that is definitely helping. I think these trains are coming in sort of before the station gets too empty. But I'll still bear that in, keep this in mind, because I think if I want to have these lines being full, I need to basically have 12 lines coming in, which means I need more than one train. So if I have like 16 lines coming off 2 trains, I can then balance them down to you know, 8. Instead of balancing up a 4 to 6, I'll balance down an 8 to 6. So these lines going to the factories will be full, because by the time it's all split, you know, these lines actually coming to these factories are looking very, very sparse indeed, and it's item ingredient shortage, and it's waiting for coal quite a lot, and that is slowing down the plastic production. So we've got plenty of petrol coming in, that is completely full, there's absolutely no problem with that whatsoever. It is just not enough coal, and it's the same on all of them. Right, so I just need each one of these, when I first designed it in the sandpit world, was designed to take basically a full belt of coal, and they're not getting a full belt of coal because of the way that I've got these splitters organised and the fact that I've only got one train coming in. So I will fix that. But what I was also going to fix today, I've put in a second, I need to put another radar up there, but I've just put in another copy of this sulfur and sulfuric acid factory. It's exactly the same blueprint that I had down here of this original one, because I was running out of sulfuric acid. So I thought, right, easy solution, double up production. And this does actually work very, very well now, because that train has just come in and it's got filled up completely and it's going out again. So we now have loads of sulfuric acid. What we don't have loads of is lube. For some reason, this base, it's coming up, fluid ingredient shortage, because it is now sort of so overpowered with making sulfur and sulfuric acid. There's not a lot going on to make lube. So I did some googling for lube only factories, and I did find some results. And basically what people were doing was they had a little factory set up that you can't make lube on its own. There's obviously lots of the heavy and light oil side products and whatever. So they were using those to make solid fuel, and then they were just routing the solid fuel into a little steam engine plant on its own, and on its own separate little electrical network, and just having loads of beacons around it just to suck up all the electricity and just burn off the solid fuel, just to get rid of it as a waste, waste byproduct kind of thing. And then some people would say, well, why don't you use the solid fuel to make rocket fuel? And then that got me thinking, I've got this huge rocket fuel factory. Where is it? It's up there. Yes, I've got this huge rocket fuel factory, which at the moment is sitting there doing nothing. Are we actually launching rockets, or did I turn part of it off? I can't remember. It's been a couple of days since I've played. Let's just zoom over to the rocket launch pad. That looks empty. Right. Right, okay. It might be that I have actually turned off the rocket fuel. For some reason. Let's have a look. LTN Manager. Rocket fuel. It could well be that I was looking at rocket silo, rocket fuel. Yes, I've turned that off. Can't remember off the time. Right, I think I turned it off. That's right, I was putting down more solar panels, and I knew that the base wasn't working properly. So I turned this off to hopefully try and get more UPS so that it would put down the solar panels quicker. It doesn't actually get the increased UPS. I think it's these belts here and the calculations for these ores on this belt. The game used to run quite happily at 5 times normal speed, and I now get twice normal speed if I'm lucky. And I think it's the updates for these belts that are slowing it down, but that's fine. It does mean that when I'm doing some extra work on the base, I just can't do it as quickly as I would like. So, right, I've turned off the rocket fuel. I'm no longer launching rockets. What I'm going to do... Where is the rocket fuel factory? I've lost it. Hang on a minute. There. So I did this googling into a lube only factory, and people were saying turn the spare solid fuel into rocket fuel, and then I thought, well, hang on a minute, I've got an entire rocket fuel factory here anyway, and I'm making lots of solid fuel. Why don't I add in lube production into this rocket fuel factory? And then I thought, right, if I'm going to do that, I'll fix the blueprint for this, because this version of the blueprint that I put down here is broken, and as I go through it I will explain why it's broken. So this is basically the next thing I'm going to do, is dismantle and rebuild rocket fuel and add in and put lube production into it as well. That is my latest madcap idea to try and get this thing working. So we'll go to packs rocket fuel. Now I don't know if I need to keep going back to the base to get some more roboports and whatever to dismantle this, or whether I'll just do it using my own personal bots. But yeah, I'm going to tidy up the blueprint a little bit, partly because the balancers in the middle are broken, or they're not working as they should. They are doing the balancing job, but my original blueprint for this, as you will see when I rebuild it, let's just put Spidertron back down. The original blueprint had an 8-lane balancer. So there's 8 of these factories. This is basically 2 big rocket build factories smushed together. So I've got, you know, one set of oil refineries feeding into these 8 lanes that are making the solid fuel, and then these 8 lanes of solid fuel should go into these 8 lanes making the rocket fuel. Now I originally had an 8-lane balancer in the middle here, and on the original version of my blueprint, as I've changed this one here, each line was only half full. We're only outputting onto 1 lane of the belt. And I looked at this blueprint and I thought, well, we can do that a little bit more efficiently by smushing the belts together and outputting onto both lanes of the belt. However, I think this broke the blueprint because it led the factory to get clogged up. My original blueprint never got clogged up. And this got to the stage where, I mean, nothing's working at the moment because I've turned off the rocket fuel at the launch pad, so this is completely all, you know, backed up. But we were in a situation where the lines get blocked up and nothing happens because there's an overload of petrol, and therefore there's the output full with petrol normally. I mean, this is a different situation because the factory's just stopped, but it was coming to a halt because the petrol was overflowing and then it couldn't produce any light oil, and therefore it couldn't make anything. So all these factories were getting starved of light oil and nothing was actually going out. So what I'm going to do is rebuild it with my original 8-lane balancer, but back in the middle. I've got no idea why this one blocks up and then the other one doesn't, but trust me, it does. And I'm also going to add in over in this section of the build some lube production from the heavy oil, and then I'll add in, so each section of the factory, there's basically four rocket fuel builds here. Each one is going to produce or output into like 2 storage tanks for the lube, and then because there's 8 storage tanks per train, that will effectively, each one is going to produce sort of a quarter of a train loads worth of lube. And I'll put in another station here for the lube to go back out again, and this should produce a lot more lube. I'll still keep the lube production at the other one, and it'll just keep, you know, trickling away, and there's no point in sort of changing this blueprint unnecessarily. So that's the current plan of action, is that I'm going to not dismantle the entire build. I'm not going to change this side of it. I'm not going to change these belts at the top. I'm just going to delete the main part of the factory and put down a new blueprint and rebuild it. And if I have to rewire in all the oil and water connections, then so be it. I will tidy all that up afterwards. And I'm taking the opportunity to sort of use a few less pipes because, you know, just sort of tidy up the blueprint a little bit, because this bottom half doesn't line up with this top half and it annoyed me. So I'm going to get everything a lot more symmetrical. I'm going to tidy up the pipe work. The basic factory is going to run exactly the same way, except there's going to be a little bit extra over here producing lube. I'm going to use just 2 heavy to light oil factories instead of 3. And then the bulk of the heavy oil is going to go towards making lube, and any excess heavy oil after that will make light oil, and then that will keep should keep the rest of the factory going. Now, I've run this for quite a period of time in the sandpit world, and it is working quite successfully. So, I mean, fingers crossed it'll still work successfully over here, but you know, from what we've seen so far, anything can happen. So I'm going to start. I don't have any chests on me, so let's get ready to rumble, as they say. Now, I've borrowed some blueprints out of here to fix the other. When I was rebuilding something, rebuilding the low density structures, and I've since taken those up. So I don't know. I think I'll have to go back to Mega Base storage. I've got some belts on me. I don't really need the belts. I'll keep Spidertron there. So let's go back to Mega Base storage. Let's see how many roboports and construction bots I've got there. I don't know at the moment whether I need to try and save the solid fuel and the rocket fuel that I've already made. I think I'll have a go at trying to save it, because I can always sort of put it into provider chests and have requested chests sort of feeding it back onto the train slowly. I don't really want to sort of feed it onto the trains in you know, massively quickly, because then the rest of the factory is just going to clog up again, and it's not going to produce any lube. So I need everything to sort of keep producing. So I might not save the existing rocket fuel. Tree XRay. Right, so I've got some roboports, and let's pick up all those roboports. Let's pick up all those construction bots. We don't have an awful lot over here, because I said I've put them all over in you know, making putting down the solar panel factory. I've now got 640,000 solar panels. I've just put in, oh yes, that's what I was doing. I was putting in some extra solar panels, and I was going through with the flamethrowers and just clearing some yeah, forests, and that's what I wanted the extra UPS for, just to speed that up a little bit. So I turned off the rocket fuel. Why are those green? Are we missing a couple of roboports there? I know we're missing a strip there because I took them out to try and save some. I thought, well, stuff it, you know. That's interesting. I didn't realise they were missing there. I'll have to check that out. I wonder if there's some a little patch of water that has caused it to not build on that area. Anyway, we will find that out eventually. So I've got roboports. I've got see, even in here I've got 8,200 rocket fuel, which is 2 or 3 3 or 4 trains worth. So I've got plenty of rocket fuel. I don't really need to save an awful lot of it, I don't think, which is ironic considering how rare rocket, you know, in the early stages of the game. Oh, hang on a minute. Let's just go in a loop back to there. I meant to pick up storage chests. We'll make sure I've got plenty of storage chests and or logistics chests. Need to just put one in down there, and that connects that to everything else. So this whole area is now covered in so I will set right, let me just put down a whole bunch of other robo ports down there, and then yeah, I don't have anything other than big electric poles, so there might be a couple. That may be slightly unnecessarily too many power poles, but it's only a temporary solution. Now I need to filter that for let's filter that one for rocket fuel. Let's filter those 6 for rocket fuel. Let's filter that one for solid fuel, and let's just have those 3 filtered for solid fuel. Let's put all the bots into... Did I not put those into there? Did I put them in and then take them out again? Let's put all my bots in there as well. Does the Spidertron? I don't think the Spidertron will have any bots. So that is 767 construction bots. That's fine. Everything is connected up. So now then, the deconstruction planner here, I'll need to add in oil refineries and chemical plants, and it does all the reds, and I'll need to add in pipes. I'm not getting it to destroy any of the power, so that everything there does carry on working. Okay. Let's put that one at the top, which it already was. That is the same one, isn't it? Right. Let's just rotate these again. I keep hitting X occasionally instead of maybe C for when I was doing the flamethrower. I was hitting X by mistake. Right, let's start. Putting it all down. Tear down and rebuild seems to be the order of the day at the moment, but you know, I'm just going to refer to that as having a rethink and just coming up with a better design, basically. So rather than try and patch something, I'd rather just you know, completely, you know, even if it is a complete, this is only a little bit of a redesign, but you know, if I have to completely redesign something, then I will, and I'll just tear down the old one and put a new one in its place. Let's hop into him. Let's actually go on to... Can it do game speed 3 at all? Oh, it can. Actually, can I now get to game speed 5? I wonder if... That is interesting. So now it's almost doing game speed 5. But yes, this will do the deconstruction basically a heck of a lot quicker. The other blueprint may not be the same size as the old one, so I'll take out all those pipes at the top and I'll work out where everything is coming from. Basically, yeah, it won't take too long now. And in fact, no, I won't take up all the other stuff, the power and the roboports, until I've completely finished, because it'll only break things that don't need breaking. Now, it's just occurred to me that if my... let's have a look at the state of my new blueprint. Oh no, it is only half the factory, that's fine. So I was thinking if it was both halves of the factory, it was going to get in the way of this this other line. So let's have a look on the map and just put this down. Let's do Control L and use. So that is the output to there. Now I don't mind if I have to just sort of rejig some of the belts and stuff. But that will probably do quite nicely. Let's put it in there and see how well that fits and how well that works. So the new bots are trying to build everything. And if I pick up a whole bunch of a few substations, I mean, it looks like everything is sort of going in quite nicely. Obviously I have now, I might still, you know, tweak and change these let's actually get rid of all of this as well out here, because I never used these stations. Oh, those are still blue splitters on there, okay. Blueprint was still slightly wonk. Right, so we need some just put that into there. Let's pick up all of those and a handful of those. Still need a handful of belts and blue arms and splitters. Although, right, let's what are we missing? Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff all over the place. But let's put in rotate it around. Stamp it down over there. Might still need a smidgen of landfill somewhere. What can I do to help? Let's pick up some power poles. And let's just pick up some of everything. And just wander around everywhere with it. Right, that is everything built. So the way this is going to work is, right, let's go back to game speed 1. Oil comes in here as it did before. Water comes in as it did before. All the heavy oil comes out of this pipe up here. And then this pump sends everything through to this set of pipes here, which goes in to make lube, and then the lube comes out of here and down and into these tanks here. The excess heavy oil, once this, because I know that from the max rate calculator, this produces 17,316 heavy oil, and this only consumes 7,650, so the other 10,000 heavy oil should come round this side and get used up to make light oil, and then that the light oil comes down this pipe and then through this pump and into here, where it goes up towards making the solid fuel, and eventually it goes up. Yeah, it goes down, it goes in to make the solid fuel, and then along to this end one here where it goes up and up and up and here, and then across to make the rocket fuel as well. And then this is a standard 8-to-8 balancer. So the other sort of side effect of this redesign of the factory is that this bottom half is further apart from this top half, so I've got room to fit this balancer into it. That's the reason I had to. I mean, I suppose I technically didn't need to take down this. Well, I have tidied up something on this top half. It uses fewer pipes and whatever. But other than that, I don't think I needed to take up all of it, to be honest. Yeah, I'll have to double check that the belts are sort of working in the right direction from the blueprint, because this blueprint, as I said, was designed to have the pipes going off to the right instead of off to the left, so there may be some slight discrepancies in the way that the belts are organised now. So it looks like everything is powered, nothing is flashing. We still have oil and water coming in down these pipes here, but I now need to route them in. So that is going to be no, 100,000. No, 200,000 is on a train. There you go, there's already actually lube. Pick up 2. Oop. Right, it's because it's only got 177,000 now in it. So yeah, as soon as that gets to 200,000, which won't be too long. It's sending. Okay. Yeah, that can just go back to fluids. It's just got confused between the two stations because they both had the same name for a while. And 85,000. Let me just wander down and fill in these beacons here while they're flashing at me. $189. I could still put a couple of other pumps on the outputs of those other. Right, so these are sort of 24 out of 25. What did I set? Let's have a look at my LTN. Lube pickup. Oh, that was still set to just 32,000. Okay. If I set that to be a provide threshold of 175,000, which it is now over, it should then send a trait to it. And here it comes. And it gets filled up pretty darn quickly, I think. Well, it'll still wait because it's still, you know, it's not quite. Yeah, it's only got 193,000 in it at the moment, so it'll still wait there. I think if I. Oh, hang on a minute. I miscalculated. I've only set this up for half a train. Let's take that into manual mode for a minute. This train can hold 2550, 75, 100. Yes, this train can hold 200, but it's right. I'm out of power poles. Right, okay, that is interesting. I have plenty of big electric poles, right, so let's just... Okay. How much has that train now got on it? 197, 199, 200. Right, automatic. You can go off and deliver your stuff. I will now change this back to asking for 200,000 because I know that these tanks will hold 400,000 basically. Yeah, I'm pretty sure now I need to have a pump. Yes, if I get that the right direction, it will be pumping the lube into tanks. There you go, look at it all go in there. Right, let's just add another pump on the output of this tank up here. Right, that is now coming up pretty quick then. 37, 38, 39, 40. So if we're generating lube at this kind of speed, let's just have a little look at utility science. Let's turn those off for a minute. Where is it? The research labs, utility science. See, that is now producing at a pretty decent rate. And we currently have four. Oh yeah, that's nearly full now. Production. Look at that. We are producing 5,000 a minute. Over the last 10 minutes, give or take, we've only produced 4,900 production science, but it may be because the thing was full. But at the moment, certainly over the last 10 minutes, everything is working as it should. Now I don't know how quickly the utility science factory uses up the lube, but I'm pretty sure now we're going to be producing it quicker than we're consuming it. And it needs trains in network 4. Yep. We need trains in network 4. I don't think there's any. Let's just have a little look. Yeah, I mean there are a couple of trains in the depot, but they seem to be going out pretty quickly as well. So I can certainly add more trains into there. I put in this extra little line, I think, while I was playing offline, so that basically any trains coming out here that were just going to this mine could get there quickly. And I remember I put in another, yeah, this train here can just get to that mine. Oh no, it's going somewhere else. That's interesting. So maybe it was a quicker route even to other places. Who's going to the copper mine? Right, okay, yeah, so, I mean, obviously this line here is a direct line from that depot to that copper mine, but it all depends on where the trains park. Yeah, very little traffic around here. If we just zoom in, we can see that all these stations are... Right, that's got 212,000, that one's got 217,000. That one's 230, which is full. That one is full. So there's plenty of copper being produced, certainly down here. So there's hardly any traffic to worry about down there. Smelters up here, same story. Just a few trains coming in, and obviously this is because I've change the way that the low density structures gets its copper from. So that's 230, that's full, that is full. You know, so every time now that we request some copper, there's plenty of stations waiting to deliver it. And because there's, yeah, there should be plenty of room now for all the trains to get in to replenish the ores as well. Electronic circuits, that's producing, so there must have been a train coming in fairly recently to pick up some circuits. That one is full, and indeed a train is on its way there. No station supplying rocket fuel, okay. Well, there will be soon, but I think we're just sort of using up. I'm hoping that we are still producing enough rocket fuel. We'll keep an eye on this and see how much. So that's got 193,000. So Again, I think when we next request a lube train, it'll come straight here and it'll have all that it needs. So yeah, let's so can we see on here? Let's add these numbers up. Get my calculator out. Uh, 948. I'm going to say that is 949 because that's what it is. No. Okay, 948, if you insist. Seven 713 674 650 and 967. That is 4,732 rockets launched from this base. That train currently has 55,000 on it, so that is nearly ready to go back out to the labs. It looks like we've got yeah, I mean these tanks are all yeah, I might still see if I can get it to empty out. So these wagons at the back have still got a little bit of sulfuric acid in them. But those there are full, so there's plenty of sulfuric acid in the system here. So I think 76 million, that's gone down to 75 million. 196 down to 195. These are all full, can't argue with that. Let's just wander back over to the old base and just see how many rockets that's launched. Where is it? There it is. 6,516. So that's 4,732 plus 6,516 is 11,248 rockets plus however many rockets I managed to launch in the other base that was you know over here that I tried building with the small octagons. So yeah, that is an awful lot of rockets launched. At least 11,500, maybe even 12 or 13. Let's just keep an eye on the power. We are using 27 gigawatts. Now just as I said that, right, we are going through just as it gets to dawn, because that is now increasing. So I still need more solar panels. 640,000 isn't enough, so I'll put down a few more blueprints for that, and we'll keep monitoring the obviously it's now started, you know, making more science, and the other factories kind of, let's just have a little look. Production science, yeah, that's working. Utility science, that's working, so that's consuming power. That's working. Yeah, so it looks like everything is... absolutely everything is working. And again, those sciences are still at 5,000 a minute. Certainly over the last... that's interesting. Space science. Oh, that's only 5 seconds. Okay, 10 minutes, yes. Yeah, some of these are down a little bit, but I'm not bothered too much. Yeah, we'll have to just sort of keep that running. I mean, it's difficult to sort of monitor it over an entire a longer period of time, because the production does sort of go up and down a little bit. But if it's able to do all the research, see, we're only, yeah, I mean, I've only been running it at full speed for half an hour, so we're certainly sort of well, we're only consuming 4,900 a minute. That's interesting. Well, it dipped. No, that's rails. Oh, yeah, power. The power is, we're having the brownouts. Okay. I mean, I think that everything now is working according to standard. Let's just turn the power grid off. So 102 million down to 95 million. 127 down to 119. That's 89. That's 33. There's still plenty of ores in these patches. They will obviously run out eventually if I keep it running for long enough. Now then, can I've tried doing this before and got it slightly wrong. Let's rechart the game. All those solar panels should be in. Now then, the question is, if I were to put down another blueprint and line that up with that. Go on, let's see what happens. I mean, everything leaps into action to start taking away the trees and whatever. I mean, I've done this before and then just got it kind of one tile off what it should have been. But yeah, look at all those bots thing into action when I start putting that down. So if I have a look at this, this is all completely chock-a-block full. We've got plenty of solar panels down here that we could put in. So I will just stamp down a few more blueprints. Now, because of the way the bots all sort of settle near, you know, near, so this is why I put them down in going round, and then I'll put them down in sequence going up here, and then in sequence going along there, and then I just work my way back down and round again, and just that's, you know, the bots just end up being parked near where I last put a blueprint down. But I'll need to landfill that, put some more landfill along there. And I don't know how many more solar panels I'm going to need, but I'm just going to carry on stamping them down at this rate. Let's have a look at this. That's still got plenty. Well, that one's out, but there's still plenty of ores. See, even this one is now not working at all. It's waiting. I mean, okay, it all depends how quickly it's drawing from it, but Yeah, I was going to say at this mining productivity, we only need sort of between 3 and 4 drills to fill a belt. I do have to keep an eye on the. There's still plenty of stone coming up there, but I probably will still need to find a new. That'll be about my 4th stone mine, I think. So yeah, they're picking up panels, they're still creating new panels and new accumulators. See, it's as it comes, it's getting almost through the night. It probably is going to brown out again now. Chunk, there it goes. And the production of everything comes down. But the solar panels are now producing more power. So it all comes back up. So it's only coming, it's only sort of dipping out for a minute or so. But I bet at the moment it's not actually having enough time to charge the accumulators fully overnight, so this is why we keep needing to put more down. So I don't think this number will change while it's on the screen, so let's just close it, reopen it. So still 640,000. Okay. I mean, it is still picking up loads of I mean, it might be that it's putting in a lot of infrastructure first before it starts putting the... Let's put in a few panels in. Yeah. It says no station supplying because it's only got like 2,000 rocket fuel in there. It's not a train full. I mean, it still sends a train to it. So it looks like, yeah, no generic cleanup stops found to process coal. So, okay, I need to add... So that is interesting. So changing those parameters on the... where's the plastic factory? It's down there, isn't it? So changing those parameters on there does mean that we are now... See, it still says we're 42,000 short, so why is the coal leaving? Or was that a different train that had coal on it that was... Interesting. No station supplying low density structure. I mean, we're obviously producing low density structures. Let's have a look. So that only stacks to 3,200, doesn't it? So, yeah. I think that was just a very temporary... temporary problem, that there wasn't a train, there wasn't a station supplying low density structures, but then 5 seconds later there was. Because they're certainly going into this station fast enough. So I could, well, probably for the sake of completeness, I will set up a recycling station for coal. Of course, trying to find... That's another set of research done. Trying to find a train that does actually have some coal on it is going to be a little bit awkward. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that without just sort of monitoring. That's the fluid trains. Yeah, without monitoring the depots and just sort of hoping that the train comes in, I don't know when I'm going to find if there's one that's got coal on it. I just hope that that train will eventually, because I've got the filter inserters, or the filtered stack inserters everywhere that I need to have them. I don't think it's going to cause any contamination. That's the word I'm looking for. Any contamination elsewhere in the base. And if a train does arrive and it already has some coal on it, eventually I'm hoping that that train will get sent back to the coal station. I mean, it might take a while. But there's trains whizzing around the base. Fluid trains. Oh, that one's got a little bit of... Now, why did that not go to the recycling centre? No. Yeah, all those are empty. Let's have a look. Recycling for... Did I set that up over there? Yes, I did. Right, so that one is being filled up. That one is now empty. Okay, that train went out empty. Right, I could do... Yeah, this is a little bit annoying because of the distance from the trains. I wanted to empty the train faster than I needed to fill a new one, so it gets filled up through the pipe, which slows it all down a little bit, but... That is now emptying out that sulfuric acid. So that's just going to wait for 2 minutes, and then it'll head on its merry way. Yeah, it's just trying to filter all the liquid through, even it out over all the tanks, but that's fine. As long as the train goes out again eventually, and it will do as soon as its 2 minutes has passed. I mean, we've still got plenty of science in there. Plenty of trains stacked up. Yeah, so as soon as the train leaves, another one comes in. So we're not running out of science. The lab should be working all the time, basically. which, you know, some of those aren't. I wonder if I need to just redesign the way that these belts are working, because if there's plenty coming in, then they should be evenly distributed amongst all the... Yeah, that is backing up. There's too many on this line and not enough going through on this line, I think. Well, once that backs up, then this one starts filling up again. So this could be why the science consumption doesn't quite match the production. But then again, I mean, everything does, you know, everything does get used up. Yeah, I might just sort of have a little look at that. I mean, it's going to be the same, I think, for all of the sciences, but we're certainly, there isn't a backlog of space science. Depot Network 4 needs a couple more trains. Oh yeah, I think the reason for the dips is it might still be down to power. 644,000. Which I think means that all the bots have finished building that section. They have. Okay. Oh. Color arrays. That, I believe, should be lining up with everything there. I wonder if I can place down a landfill blueprint remotely. I don't think that's actually doing anything. Yeah. I'll wander over there and I'll load myself up with landfill. But yeah, I'm very happy with the way this is going now. I mean, you know, this could pretty much be job done, I think. But I'll keep it running for a little bit longer and I'll keep an eye on it. We're certainly not you know, running out of items, or, you know, we're not short of plastic, we're not short of steel, we're not short of any ores. The trains are getting to where they need to go without getting gridlocked, or, you know, there's still a bit of traffic around here, but that's only because the mines are so close to... There's the nuclear fuel train on its way somewhere. So even in this area down here, you know, everything is all clean. You know, nothing's contaminated with anything. Let's have a little look at that one. 225, so that's nearly full. 217, that's pretty full. 220. 209, so yeah, you can't complain with that. I like watching my rockets and I like watching the space science. I can probably sit here for ages watching this, and I might just do that and just watch the base and keep an eye on it over the course of, you know, a whole day. That's nearly 1,000 rockets, isn't it? You know what? I'm going to wait until that one ticks over 1,000 rockets launched. And then I'm going to say it's a good time to go to bed, to be honest with you. Now, I think it ticks over onto products finished when it's actually finished building the rocket and it's ready to launch it. So we're just going to wait for this. So it's 25%, 40, and then it starts getting into ingredient shortage. 55. There we go, 1,000 rockets on that silo. Fantastic. So let's just have a little look. Going back out again, it was getting a bit noisy. So, how much power do we still have? Yeah, the solar panels are increasing now, so it's getting daylight. We've still got 330,000, 200, whatever, gigajoules. Close does that get to the end? 270. Are we actually going to run out? We might still, run out. Ooh. Wow. Wowee. Right, well, that is a pretty good note to leave it on for tonight. So we've launched 1,000 rockets out of that one silo. Probably nearly 5,000 rockets or whatever out of this part of the base in total. It won't be too long before it's overtaking the other, the starter base in terms of number of rockets launched. We're holding pretty steady. The power's lasting pretty much through the night. I'll keep putting down some more solar panels. But yeah, I don't think there is an awful lot of well, if anything else needs changing on the base, it's just going to be minor tweaks rather than any major rebuilds, I think, at this stage. So that I am very happy with. Got 4 silos emptying out space science at the same time. Yeah. I can go to bed a happy man tonight. And on that very happy note, I will say, see you next time.